Welcome back to Video Games Reloaded, and today the Sega Dreamcast is 25 years old. It came out in 1999 on October 14th and was on the market for just over a year and a half. But in that short lifespan, we had absolutely loads of games released for the Sega Dreamcast. Even today, the Sega Dreamcast still get indie titles, and why not? It's a fantastic console. Let's look at the great side of the Sega and what the last console actually made. So the Sega Dreamcast console was discontinued, but because of an exploit on the Dreamcast itself, a lot of developers were able to get in to develop for the Dreamcast after it died. So what became a weakness then became like an also good thing, one of its strengths, that it was very easy to develop for. And I have, as you can see beside me, one or two games that were developed after the Dreamcast had stopped being made and was no longer relevant in the gaming market. But I would suggest getting something to eat and drink, because it could be a long one. I'll go through them as quick as I can, and I will show videos where I can on each particular game if I find it interesting. So let's take a look at some games, shall we? Starting off, Tough Guys. Satazia next. Supercharger Volkaiser. Shoot him up. Wolf Flame. Another shoot 'em up. There's a fun one. Volga the Viking. I believe this has been on just about everything, but they'd made a port of it, and it was like free to download, and it was so popular they actually put it into production. Here's an older title, but on a retro console, Flashback. Ganru. Cool Herder. Battle Crust. Ghost Blade. Arcade Racing Legends, fantastic game this one. Andros Dunos 2. Andros Dunos. Armed 7. Four by 4 Jam. Gunlord. FX Unit. Herms. I believe I've got that one in a thin case as well somewhere. Flashback. Rocket Ron. Magic Pockets. Mackie Pie. Leona's Tricky Adventures. I think I've got that one in the film case as well. Errada's Masters of Blocks. Inhabitants. Titles everywhere. Neo Drift Out, and that one came in a cardboard sleeve back in the day. That was made by Viscal's Games. I'd like to see that get another remake. I think Pixel Heart could do a great job with that one. This has been on everything. Xeno Crisis, and that's Bitmap Bureau made that game. Fantastic sort of top-down alien shooter.
Commander Darius, we have a code red distress signal from Outpost 88.
We have no time to lose, Lieutenant. Dispatch a squad of our finest Marines. Buckle up, meatheads! Prepare for half a boost!
Approaching now, sir. I have a bad feeling about this.
Xeno Nemesis. Make your selection. Commencing operations. Your mission begins now. Room clear.
Alice's mum's rescue. Last Hope, and that came in a regular one that I made for the game. Xenociders. Now this was released in a small number 50. I did try to order one. I was out of luck, so I made a case for mine as well. Great game. Stormwind, and again Stormwind again. S-PAL. Wind and water puzzle battles, and again I made a cover for mine. It's a great game. Deserves a PAL style case. Orion's Puzzle Collection. Fun game, this one.
Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Quite amazing. Quite amazing.
Sadly, you might not be able to get it anymore, and that's Clear Solar. Fantastic title, very limited in its run. Also came out on Mega Drive. Zia the Goddess. They did make a small case version of this. thin case is Fast Striker, and also I have it in the standard case as well. Ducks, and also in the standard case, that's 1.5. A lot of things were improved on that version of the game, and it's very good. They also made a Redux, which is supposed to be higher resolution. I did have that, but I was so unimpressed by it, I actually sold it. Neo Zeist, and here's its equivalent, PAL 1. They brought out long cases for that when it first came out, and I don't like the long cases particularly, so I remade that one standard case. Along also with this one, which is Elysium Figure. It's like a puzzle game, but I also put that into a standard one, the artwork for that as well, just because I like the game. You can finish the game itself in 20 minutes on the first one, and about 45 on the second game. Once you understand what the puzzles are, they're not particularly long. They can be quite taxing, but they're also fun. So Alistair Lowe, a game developer, still developing games. I think he's going to be doing more for the Dreamcast, but he brought out 2 games, one which was Tapeworm, and I have like my PAL equivalent to that. A fun little game. He also put out Flea, and it was actually released in a limited number of these PAL cases, a very, very limited number of them. So this one is Shadow Games, and I have a very limited number of PAL, as well as the audio CD. Fun story, I've actually met this developer. I'll put a picture in momentarily, but he's a tall guy, very tall guy, very nice family man. I believe they are making another one of this. Let's hope we do get Dreamcast release. Another puzzle game, Fruity, and that's my copy of it as well. A year or so back, I went to OLL, and I also had a picture of this. This will be a good one. I'll show it. Was running an event there, or shop was running an event, and I'd already been speaking to John Riggs, who is the developer of this game, then along with Adam Corlick, through Wave, who put this game out itself. Thought that would be a good idea, so I met the gentleman, and you'll find this in the American version of the game, but I also handed him a PAL one that I've made, and again, him and his wife are fantastic people, very fun, went out for a meal, very nice people. Yeah, fantastic game. A little bit short-lived. I want to see more, Mr. Riggs. Let's see you bring a few more little titles out. Well, that would be fun. So, talking about Wave Games, they put out a game, Postal, which was what with running with scissors, and they got the right strategy put the game out. And it was in a very limited PAL run. So it wouldn't be surprised if you've got the standard edition, but you don't actually have the PAL. I think there was only 15 or 20 printed up, which is a shame. But that happens sometimes in the game. Oh, so here we go. Rush Rally. So initially, Rush Rally was put out in a long box, and then it saw the lights of day in the CD case. It also saw the light of day actually in a PAL. Now, Wave made one of these, and I think Pixel Heart then picked up the rights to it and also put one out, but don't quote me, because there seems to be one on Pixel Heart and Video Games New York and here in the UK with Wave Studios. So that's an oddity. See 3 different versions of it. But again, here's a perfect example of a game that was previously released, and I shall show you that one, and that was Alison's Dream Tournament, as you can see. So that got an American release and a PAL one in limited numbers, and then was picked up by Wave Studios again and then re-released again. It's essentially a Bomberman clone. Thing is, with the import stuff, there's no region locks on it, so it would work in the country. And last but not least, So, Intrepid Izzy. This was put out by Wave and Senile Team, and they did a very few PAL games in the PAL box set. And if you were very lucky and you could find one, you had the collector's edition that had the game, soundtrack, an additional 2 figurines and an art book. may know that the Dreamcast itself, back in the day, had Gleam versions for the PlayStation, and there was like 3 official, and then people are still making ones that run PlayStation 1 games today. I only keep like the official Gleam ones and make my own artwork for it. I don't necessarily like the plastic cases they came in. So I've got Tekken and Gran Turismo 2, and artwork for the Gleam, as you can see, looks like that. GD-ROM discs rather than DVD-ROM discs. Now, had Sega went with a DVD-ROM format, yes, the disc size would have been bigger, but they would have to pay more cost for those DVDs and for those DVD-ROM technology to be put into the system. And they didn't want to do that. They wanted to be closer to their arcade counterparts, where the machines are had in the arcade, and bring that experience over to their own branded console. And they did that. They brought you games that were arcade based. You had Crazy Taxi, 18 Wheeler, Virtual Tennis, a slew of arcade ports got ported over, and they were fantastic. So right off the back, you will see here a display screen that is known as a VMU, or Visual Memory Unit, where you store stuff on a memory card, and it displays what you see in real time back at you. Now, what I mean by real time, if you were playing Resident Evil and your health was suffering, if you would look down on your controller, you would see your heartbeat, and it will tell you how much life you had left in the game, without having to pause the game, without having to go into the menu and look. And at the back you can see a rumble pack, and as you can see, that gives the console vibration. So let's move that off, and we'll talk about the unit itself. So at the back you'll find a modem port, and this, back in the day, you had like a dial-up system on your phone line, and that would connect to a server, and then that would be a very expensive way to playing games online. Inside, as I said, is where the disc proprietary go, and as you can see, it's not a slide out door or anything technical. It's just a spring with a clip on it, and if the console goes wrong, it's very easy to access the discs on the system, and there's something to be said for that lovely clunky clicking sound. So moving on, and we'll cover some proprietary stuff that actually got released. So you've got light guns, and this one is with the House of the Dead. And back in the day, we had a CRT TV, you could play your light gun and bring the arcade experience home with you. Itself comes in these beautiful blue boxes, which unfortunately do suffer. You tend to find these very battered condition, but I do like the generic blue swirl and its colouring. I mean, there's better, nicer box designs out there today, but as you can see, it supports a VMU, a terrible race wheel, something I've never enjoyed, an arcade stick, which I'll cover a bit later on in the video, and obviously controllers, and came and brought out a mouse, with a mouse and a keyboard. So a keyboard and a mouse, and then obviously with a keyboard and mouse you could play PC style games. The Dreamcast was very much pushing towards PC style games. I think I can think of 3 or 4 games, like Dragon Rider Chronicles of Perm was a PC title. There were a few PC titles that actually got canned that would use that Quake. You can use a keyboard and mouse, and it's probably a better way of playing it if you're playing online. And there were going to be a lot more games that come out that supported it. Unfortunately, it died before they had a chance to do that, which was a shame. They also brought out a fishing rod for Sega Bass Fishing. This is the proprietary controllers, and as you can see, they follow the aesthetics of the original box. The VMUs also followed that style. You could have a microphone so you could chat online while you're playing online games. Controller on Dreamcast had 4 buttons on its fascia and not 6, and if you were playing arcade style games like Street Fighter Alpha and Third Strike, you actually did need a 6-button controller. And this one, obviously, with its memory card slot at the top, and you can see its nice green bright buttons and control stick, actually plays great if you're playing arcade styled fighting games. And you kind of like needed this if you wanted a sort of an edge over anybody who was playing, who you were playing against on the fighting genres that were primarily designed for arcades and brought over. I mean, so it was a great way of doing it. You could use the triggers at the back of the controller, but it wasn't necessary if you had the standard arcade stick. They're not too expensive to buy now, but they are essential if you're going to collect fighting games for the Sega Dreamcast. So I thought I would show off some of the Dreamcasts I've actually collected. This one is a GSM 002. There was a promotion by Sega when you bought the games themselves. If you collected a certain amount of points, then you could redeem them from the games you bought and actually buy these units. And how they would come is like this, in this box. And you collect them from Sega themselves, and they were multiple. They're getting to the point now where just the shells alone for this unit are probably 400 now. But I'll show you a few that I have. They say this is GSM 002, and they also brought out, if I just move this off here, a crystal one, as you can see, and that has a Claire VMU as well as a Claire controller, and that came in this box, as you can see, Crystal GSM 002 from Sega themselves. Way too many to actually display, but again I'll show a few more. Take that one down. And this is 002 as well, and that's in a nice colour yellow, and a lot of people get offended that. I think it's absolutely gorgeous. I mean, it's meant to be eye-popping, let's say, and it certainly is. These controllers now are just so expensive to buy. Even the VMUs run into the hundreds and hundreds of pounds, and it's just crazy. I think this is about £500 now to actually get a yellow skin or replacement case for them. It just gets so silly. And I'll show a few more. Now the next few I'm showing you are aftermarket. So this one is in red, and it has official red controller. As you can see, there's slight different variations in the red. I don't think they've got this down to a fine art yet on the colours. The only other red one they truly released was a Resident Evil Stars one, and that's got like a pink top rather than having red. But I think it just looks fantastic. This is aftermarket. You can tell the crystal on there is not a slick grey, it's boring grey. But again, this has a red VM and red rumble. This is a blue one. A lot of people's favourites because the Sega blue and the blue, as you can see. Now there is a GSM in this in blue, but it just goes for so much money. I've been trying to find one for a very long time to finish that set off, and it's a sort of solid black one as well, and it's really hard to find out. I did bid on one and got outbid unfortunately a while back, but we endeavour to try and find one. But so this is an aftermarket shell. It's still beautiful and I think it really pops. Now I'll show one more. And this one's an aftermarket orange. Now the controller is actually official. It comes from a Choo Choo Rocket box set. Bear with us if I can find that. I think I've got one over here. So I do have another one which I'll put in the background. As you can see, like a Choo Choo Rocket, and it came, as you see, with a proprietary orange controller, which is really cool. Again, I can't think they ever made an orange rumble or VMU. This was never meant to be a match. I mean, I've seen photographs online where they supposedly have an official one, but there's no badging on them, so I don't think it is. As I said, I have multiple consoles. Way too many to show, unfortunately. I've got lots of box stuff. Maybe when I do my game side of it or the magazine side of it, I will show a few more off then. But having said that, let's take a look at some games. So this is another add-on that Sega produced. It was called Samba D'Amigo, and it's maracas to do a musical game. So as I said, the Dreamcast is now 25 years old, and this was a fun look at its peripherals and games that when the Dreamcast died, it still lived on, and to show you it's just a fantastic console. So once again, happy birthday Dreamcast, 25th year. If you enjoyed this, please like and subscribe and share. It will help the channel grow. And thank you again, and I will see you on the next one.